to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, now who's going to do the prayer? Shall we have one of them silent ones? Okay, let's a couple of minutes. Amen. Roll call vote? Roll call? Do you want to vote? Yeah. Councilmember Director Pita? Here. Councilmember Director Cabrera?
Here.
Councilmember Director Alvarez?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Vice Chair Member Titus?
Here.
Mayor Chair Member Schultz? Here. We have a forum. Oral communications.
We have
Things mixed up again.
presentations.
Yeah, we're supposed to have the Girl Scouts.
Is there a competition for the Girl Scouts?
They're not here.
Had some kids and I was
You want to go say your word? You want to get the proclamation there?
I've lost one of my papers. Looks like the council agenda.
Oh, you know what? There we go. My book's gone.
Well, we have some proclamations for the Girl Scouts week, but I don't think anyone's here for that. So we'll go to the oral communications, things on the agenda, 3 minutes per speaker, 15 allotted for oral communications. Well, if not, we'll go to things not on the agenda for the council meeting.
Alan Calco, 21930 Horst Avenue. I'd like to call your attention to this flyer that went out throughout the community. I guess it was maybe last Sunday. And it's the Ask Me Union Use an occasional newspaper, which I'm sure will become more frequent as we get closer and closer to election time. I think it's real good that people are out there trying to communicate and let people know what's going on, but I'm always concerned when there's mistruths or exaggerations. One of the things that it says in here is that right now we're getting $250,000 a month from the casino, or at least we've been told we're going to get that much, and maybe we could find out very soon whether we are actually getting that much money, $250,000 a month. The latest I heard was we got $74,000, $80,000, something like that. So I think that's something important for the people to know exactly how much is coming in before we start spending it all. The other thing that I was a little concerned about was that there really was some derogatory comments made about the former mayor when it comes to education in this community, that Ralph Cicita does not care about the education of our children. And I find that very insulting, and I believe that the people who ever wrote this need to apologize. Basically, I worked with Ralph very closely. He was a very dedicated mayor. He made it to all the meetings whenever the school district, if there was a meeting, he would be there. He represented the people very well. And so I think it's an insult to the former mayor, and whoever wrote this needs to apologize. You could have never had a more dedicated mayor than Ralph Cicita. And this whole thing really goes back to the Navejas tactics of the past, where they would complain about the ABC school district. And it says in here that ABC school district is neglecting our kids. No, that's a bunch of garbage.
That is not.
$10 million is being spent on Artesia High School. Fetty is a magnet school.
Haven't you seen
Ferguson
that
is going to
before?
be a magnet school. Okay. They are doing great things for the kids in this community as far as education, and so do not blame the school district for neglecting our kids. That's an out-and-out lie. We're lucky that our kids go to ABC School District, okay? Plain and simple. And if you laugh, then you don't know a whole lot about education.
Didn't you
Okay,
read the
you need-
press telegram
okay.
when it listed the cities and how
Okay.
they rated with other cities?
Okay,
Our-
a lot,
our
and first of all, and
schools
also,
was
tell you the truth,
one,
as an
which is the
educator,
poorest.
a lot of those test scores are a joke, and they don't really measure real learning. So you need to kind of read between the lines before you jump to some conclusions. So I stand by the ABC School District. They're one of the best in the state. Whitney High School, best high school, supposedly, if you go by test scores, in the state, and some of our residents, some of our kids go to Whitney. So our kids have a great opportunity with ABC. And so, yes, they can always do better, but don't knock the school district. And when you call them stuffed shirts and you say they neglect our kids, that's not a good way to communicate with the school district. That's not going to get anything for our children. So I really hope that you will refrain from this propaganda and you'll tell the truth, okay? That our kids are doing fine, and Leonard, you shake your head and make a fool of yourself
tell the
as
truth.
usual, okay? But I know something about education a lot more than you do, and our kids are lucky with what they get right here. And if you want to get more for our children, don't call them names and don't make false accusations.
I didn't put
Otherwise,
the
you're not
flyer out.
serving our kids at all. Thank you.
I'll tell you how I feel about it. No problem. Got the lowest API scores in the whole school district,
That's
people.
right, Alan.
In case you
You're
don't
right,
know about it,
Alan.
Ferguson rated with their particular scores 441.
And they used to be the tops.
They were the lowest school API scores in the whole district.
And so was Hawaii.
Guess what the
and
next one
Melbourne.
was? Hawaiian. Guess what the next one was? Melbourne. The three lowest schools.
So are you blaming
The three lowest. Excuse me. You've had your chance to talk, and let me tell you something. Right now, we're the council, so I would expect you respect that. Okay? We let you have your say. Now it's our turn to say, and we're going to use just plain facts, my friend. The three lowest schools API scores in the whole school district was here in Hawaiian Gardens. Okay, serving Hawaiian Gardens kids. I've taken exception with Melbourne because Melbourne's technically in Lakewood, but it serves Hawaiian Gardens kids. And I'm going to tell you that there's a reason for that, because the school district doesn't pay attention to the south end of the district the way it should. Quite frankly, around this town, everybody has always said ABC stands for All About Cerritos. Okay? And Cerritos is exactly where the API scores are high. Let me tell you about some of the policies that I know that came to our attention last year that were really absolutely appalling. You know that in Cerritos, all those schools in elementary schools, a lot of them, not all of them, have graduation or promotional activities for their children. Did you know in Hawaiian Gardens we don't for our elementary school? Now you tell me how a city with ethnically diverse kids here who need self-esteem and self-esteem building kind of activities don't have promotional activities for their kids. Why is the school district hiring principals that make those policy decisions? And they hire principals in Cerritos that do. Is that
You know-
correlated to their API score?
You know, the little ones can't even put their hand up and go to the restroom during school time.
They had a problem at Ferguson where kids couldn't go to the bathroom. That's true. The PTA made an issue of it. Okay, and if you were there at that meeting, you heard about it. That has not changed. That continues to go on at Ferguson. We got a big problem over there. And quite frankly, there's a thing on this agenda, if you read your agenda and you were halfway astute in figuring out things, that the ATGM program on our own reports show that Melbourne and Hawaiian are participating, but guess who's not participating? Ferguson. Okay? Ferguson is not participating in that program and really doesn't want that full participation, even though it's a grant that actually is supported by Ms. Groom, who's of the school district, and other school board members. Why would we want an ATGM program at Ferguson? That's totally absurd, when the city would pay for that as a benefit to our kids. Okay? Now, I don't understand why she doesn't, okay? But I'll know one thing. The fact that she doesn't puts those other two schools in jeopardy for funding in our programs. So don't tell me about how we're fortunate to be on the south end of the district with low API scores and moronic principals who can't make a decision about education in this town. Because you know what? I don't buy it. I look at the facts, I investigate the facts, and by God, I come up with a decision. And as long as I have the position here to do something about that, I will. Whether you like it or not, Mr. Calcody, that's tough luck, okay? Because I'll tell you one thing, our kids are more important than what you like or what you don't like, okay? And when I see API scores down that low consistently throughout the history of this town, in this south end of the district, I got a big problem with it. And when they compound it to try to implement a policy that jeopardizes the other schools in this town with our ATGM program, I take exception to it. And I don't really believe that we're all that fortunate at all. Thank you.
Anyone else would like to talk on?
Ralph Cecina, 22016 Pioneer Boulevard. Maybe, it's a problem. And maybe we should invite at one of our meetings, council meetings, the board here, Ceci Groom and the rest of the board, and some of the teachers, and let's iron some of this out. I'm very concerned about it too, because I don't like the accusation that was in that, and I know it wasn't the council, it was a union, and things shouldn't be stretched out of proportion. But I think that there really is a problem here and that we have to do something. And I think it's up to you, council, and the school district, the powers that be, get together and in public, see if we can iron some of this out.
Well, Ferguson was a Magnum school. I mean,
I know.
that was the #1 school for primary. And
Well,
now
I don't
all
know
three
what happened,
schools.
but I know that I attended a lot of meetings.
Something.
And they hadn't seen anybody from the council there for a long time, and I attended a lot of the meetings. I went to Melbourne, I went to Fedi, I went to
I know, you were very
Hawaiian,
busy, Ron.
Ferguson. I mean, I went to all the schools,
Yeah.
and I met all the principals, and I met, with the school board. So we tried, and I thought that everything was rolling because the money did come in on the grants and everything else. I thought everything was in pretty good shape, but from what Leonard was saying there, we still have a big problem, and we have to do something about that.
Well, I have a couple of grandchildren that are going, and they're in Kennedy. Because I think their score was like 8 or 9. I think it was 8.
Yeah.
And that's a far cry from 2 with the schools that are just within walking distance.
With all this grant money at the schools now, we should be doing something. Something should start happening.
But Ralph, when little ones can't put up their hand to go to the restroom, when they're in the...
Well, that's a problem. That's a big problem. Yeah.
That is bad. There's going to be some little ones that'll do that just to go. Well, the teacher, she should just keep a list or something
And
like
this
that.
is at Ferguson,
Yeah.
Ferguson, yeah.
and it doesn't happen at the other schools.
I don't know.
Hawaiian?
I don't know what I've already talked to the superintendent, and
No,
we're
I
trying
know my
to.
grandchildren, they put their hand up when they want to go to the restroom.
We're
But
trying to
we've
work
had some
those things out
accidents
before it
down
gets to
here.
the board.
I know that's it
Yeah,
should-
and
it
that's-
should
and
be
that's what
done
I'm
there.
trying to do
I
with
hate
them.
to see it trashed out here. I think it should be done.
Well,
at
I've
special
already
meetings.
talked to Mr. Barnes about a couple of weeks ago, okay? And
we've been working
I've
on
been
it.
trying to get a hold of Mr. Barnes all day today, couldn't get a hold of him. So I talked to the assistant superintendent today. And when I talked to him, I told him that these are some of the concerns that we had, and I hadn't heard from Mr. Barnes, and I'm, before it gets to be a
grows.
bigger issue than
Right.
what it is, I want you guys to have the opportunity to put out a fire, okay? The situation is that I know we should have a meeting, but I don't want to have it here. Okay?
it shouldn't
And I'll
be.
tell you why.
I know,
Because
I
they're going to look at us and
understand
say
why
it's
that-
our problem. And they'll be laughing over in
Well,
over at
since it
ABC
came out
School
and
District
we're on
saying,
cable-
"Hey, they're over there at their place. They're not over here." No, I want to waltz them up there. I want to waltz them up
Well-
there. I think we should provide transportation to those parents who have a problem with the school district and get them there the first and third Tuesday of the month.
As long as something gets
And
going.
Not
gets
only
moving.
that, the parents are threatening to involve the media, okay? Television and the whole works over there. They don't want that. We sure don't want them over here at City Hall.
That's right.
Well, I
That's
know.
not petty.
Because who'll be here with a
Ferguson School like
spoon
we used to for
and a
sports. because she doesn't want us over
you know,
there.
Madam, if I may, maybe Tony, if you can set up a meeting probably to see what can be done. I think it's probably better if you, I know it's good to go through chain of command, but if the problem could be resolved, there's no need for media, there's no need for things to get out of hand, because what you want to do is a solution to the problem.
But there has been
We
contact in regards to even a meeting.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if the mayor and council would even entertain that we request, or that you all would like to have a joint meeting with the board
Okay.
over there at ABC District.
Sure.
Now, you've tried to get hold of
Right.
Dr. Barnes.
Okay.
He hasn't returned the call.
Yeah.
We're being ignored here,
Yeah.
okay?
Well, in the past, I think what's happened is the board members really, and I agree, there has been a type of neglected area over here with us. And I know a few board members, and as a matter of fact, I've, endorsed some because I feel that they have been, supportive of things in this side, because I do see them in meetings. There's some that I've never seen in the meetings that we have in the schools. They don't come around. There are, a few that are supposed to be throughout, not just one area.
We
I
had a
do
few
hope-
of them at Hawaiian.
But what I'm saying is, I hope they put it into districts where there'll be a board member that represents a certain area, and maybe there could be two, because we have a lot of children, from this little city, there's a lot of, they get a lot of ADA money that's, average daily attendance money, a lot goes into the district. And it is to their benefit because of statistics that they use for the grants, even money that the state gives them. So I think that something can be resolved. I think, Tony, if you are not successful, you keep on trying again, and I think it's correct. Leonard said,
Well, let me
to meet
ask,
out there.
what route would you like
Well,
to be taken? I mean, I'm asking-
Maybe you can address them a letter stating that, the issues came up at the council meeting, that we'd like to have a meeting. There's a few people that are concerned, and the council is concerned of the, maybe the scoring or the representation of, south side of district, something to the effect that, hey, we need to talk, rather than to have media or get it where it gets, it gets to be like into a battle where we're not going to communicate.
And
It'll
what level?
snowball and get larger, I mean, I do see that the council, mayor and council, stay on it, please.
Yeah,
And,
because we've had problems with the school board before, remember? And
right. But keep
No, you-
meeting with them, and something will be done. Something has to be done.
I mean, if there's something wrong in your district, and you see it's happening to your constituents, you have to do something about it.
That's right.
I mean, you gotta do something. The sooner you do something about it, the better it is. And it's a problem. Irregardless if your wife works for ABC School District, doesn't make any difference.
Well, I don't think
Okay?
that's the
I'm
issue.
telling you right
Yeah,
now,
we've been
what
on-
has to
on
happen
it.
is we've gotta solve these problems within our community. Okay?
That's
right.
And we
When
need
is-
to shed our own personal
Do you-
feelings and try to get to it and do it.
I
But it
believe,
might be a good idea
Yeah.
to have.
And I
a meeting.
suggest, Mr. Calcode, before you come up here and start blasting the city council, you better learn the facts before you come up here and speak.
know the facts.
No, you don't know anything.
Okay.
You know
well,
nothing.
I think it's
And
something.
that's
Mayor,
the
why don't you
first
get
time you've
control of
seen
your
that,
meeting?
huh?
I think it's something that we can
Yeah.
we can take care of this. I think it's not to get out of hand, but I'd like to, if you can put a committee, Mayor, to get involved with that, like be part of that, to go up there. Maybe we have to go up there ourselves, and says we'd like to request a meeting.
Well, let's
And
see if
also
we
meet with the board
get
members.
a reaction to
At
all.
the- at the same time-
I'd say
I don't-
before you
I don't
do that,
think
you
it's
might
fair.
wanna turn
I don't
around and
think
get
it's fair to
something
the
out.
school board
Yeah.
that, they're being put down, and there's no one here to represent the school board or say anything,
No, we
having
have
that
talked.
explanation.
You know
We
what?
have
don't worry,
talked
I
to
can-
someone in charge.
I've talked to them.
And we'll see if we get a reaction tomorrow.
I've talked to
What,
them.
what we really
Okay,
need
thank
is,
you.
what we
Thank you,
really need
Ralph.
is,
Thanks, Ralph.
thank you, Mr. Sina. What we really need is someone to run for the board. Someone from this district has never run from this city.
Not gonna do it.
To run, I don't know why, we don't have a person to run and actually, get some representation.
Well, we have
Well, the
tried.
fact
It
of the
just
matter
doesn't
is
work
that it's-
because we're outnumbered.
It's
Yeah.
mathematically impossible, gang, okay? It's no different. We
Last
can't
one
have
was Teddy
anybody
Fails.
run because there's more votes in Cerritos than there is any other
But
place.
at least there'll be a say-so at their meetings. At least
Well-
they'll have something. Something is better than nothing.
Yeah, but what needs to happen, okay,
Teddy
what
Fails and
what really
Marquette
needs
is
to
the last
happen
one.
in this issue is that there needs to be trustee areas, okay, assigned
Right.
to that school district.
Okay.
So that our area gets represented.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's exactly what we
That's
need.
one thing that we've been.
And we've been trying to do that, and ABC fought us, SB 1 under Joe Baca in the legislature, they fought us like crazy, okay? Because they wanted to continue to control over there at Cerritos, control the other cities and with their school board. So that's exactly what's happening here.
Our attorney has something to say.
No, I just,
Let's go on.
We don't want to make this an agenda item.
Okay,
We're not voting on anything, we're just discussing.
That name calling. you know. Okay, so we'll pass, and maybe, do we have the Girl Scouts here?
No, but.
If they are, they scared them off.
We'll do it next time.
You want to do it next time?
Oh, okay. Well, we're running out of time, aren't we?
Hey, guys, it's Girl Scout week.
March the 11th through the 17th is Girl Scout Week. So buy a lot of cookies.
I have, believe me, I love those cookies.
Yeah, the mint ones, chocolate mint.
Oh, no. Caramel, but coconut.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, shall we handle oral communications? Closed session?
Yes, Madam Mayor, we'll have closed session right now. Just for the record, the closed session is a existing litigation. The case is Eugenio versus City of Wine Gardens.
That name sounds familiar.
Some of the same stuff. Didn't say it. Didn't take too long.
Yes, Madam Mayor and members of the council, the city council did conduct a closed session as we identified before we went into closed session, and the council did not come to any resolution or conclusion which warrants publication at this time. So that concludes my presentation, and we'll go into the next item on the agenda, which is A.
Mayor and Council, at this time, I'm formally requesting something came to our attention today in regards to the PIC. I'm sure we all remember that the Private Industry Council had approached us in regards to establishing a facility by March 1st. Also, on a serious side, besides that, was that other items came to our attention regarding the child daycare center. As been stated previously, the original grant that was secured was less than $1 million. Now they've increased the grant for child daycare service here in the city of Hawaiian Gardens, designated for Hawaiian Gardens, in the amount of $1.5 million. There is a request that's being sought out in order to facilitate the implementation of both units. And this evening I'm requesting such item to be placed on the agenda. And once again, this came to our attention after the agenda had been posted. But it seems that action is needed prior to the next meeting being March the 14th.
I need a motion and a second to discuss this.
Make a motion to discuss it.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Councilmember Pita?
Yes.
Councilmember Cabrera?
Yes.
Councilmember Alvarez?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Titus? Yes. Mayor Schultz?
Yes.
Madam Mayor, just for the record, this item will be under E4.
Okay, so we'll discuss these first ones.
Right.
Okay, under discussion items, approval of an agreement by and between the Los Angeles County and the City of Hawaiian Gardens to complete count committee censors outreach services.
Public hearing.
Alright. Oh, I missed the whole page. Okay, under public
I was ready to
hearings,
adjourn.
I'll open the public hearing.
Fast meeting.
Public hearing and approve resolution 08-2000 to approve the city's 2000-2001 community development block grant program and budget.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We need to have.
We need to have a
Public
public
hearing.
hearing.
Public
We need a
hearing
public
first and
hearing.
then vote.
Oh, we don't do that.
Anyone would like to speak on the community block grant program?
May I ask Joe to maybe expound on the
Yeah, Joe.
Sure.
Earn your money.
Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council, we've been notified by the Community Development Block Grant Administration that the city will be receiving $312,000 in federal CDBG grant funds for the next fiscal year. That would be from the July 1st, 2000 to June 30th, 2001. In addition, we'll have $286,000 of unexpended CDBG funds from prior years for relocation, and staff is recommending that we continue the same programs such as the housing rehab program, code enforcement program, WETIP program, neighborhood beautification program, ATGM, and fair housing program, administration and a contingency of $5,509. The new program that we're recommending for this coming fiscal year is to fund $15,000 of those funds for a portion of the zoning code update. Since CDBG monies can be used for code enforcement, we would like to program $15,000 for the update of the zoning code, which was done in the past, but we never used the funds because the program had stopped. So that concludes the presentation, and it is a public hearing.
Real quick question, Joe.
Yeah.
Does this money include also for the cleanup, the bins that we put out there, or?
Yes, that would be on page 2, which is the neighborhood beautification program.
Oh, okay, I wasn't sure.
$22,000 has been
How much?
allocated. $22,804 has been allocated.
There's $286,000 of unspent funds?
Yes, that's from the prior years of not having the rehab program.
Why didn't we have it?
Because of the layoffs, and the former
that's
administrator
right,
from
yeah.
Wildan had canceled the program.
And the layoffs were funded by CDBG?
The program was funded by CDBG, and the staff person was funded
Partially
by,
funded.
not
CDBG.
partially, 100%.
100% by CDBG.
So we could have
So the
kept people
layoff,
all along.
Yes.
Well, that's terrible.
I'm just totally surprised.
Wonder how many other programs
It's
were
a
like that.
revelation to me. It's just total revelation.
You know, I mean, that's almost $300,000.
And all those layoffs.
So we're recommending that we continue that program and increase the amount funded for that program to do additional rehabs.
Okay, so we have this amount, plus we have what we're gonna get, right?
Right, so you'll have a total of $598,000 to spend. Most of it,
$600,000.
most of it will go towards CDBG, $15,000 for the code enforcement program, and $10,000 more for the code. $15,000 for the code enforcement zoning component of the comprehensive zoning revision, and $10,000 more for the code enforcement program.
What were the chances of us just losing that money that we had?
We didn't lose any of the money, just rolled over, and that's how we have the
That's how you
200.
get it.
Couldn't we have lost it?
There
because
was
we
an
didn't-
opportunity of losing it. Use
There
it or
wasn't?
lose, there was.
After a while, you could
There's a
lose the
period.
money.
Yeah, I mean,
But being
that's
that it had
terrible.
only been a couple of years, it would take a little bit more time than that, but yes, you can use the money if you don't use the money,
Yeah.
because it'll just get funded for other
And
programs in
so
different
now we
communities.
have like twice as much, $300,000 to help the people fix their homes.
I believe isn't there a long waiting list?
There's a long
Been
waiting
in
list.
A long waiting
Yeah.
list,
And
and we don't
we've got
spend the money.
Quite a few going in the pipeline right now for work write-ups, and we're going out to bid on 6 of them right now.
Well, we're gonna have a busy year,
Yeah, because we're gonna spend that money.
that's for sure.
Damn right.
Um,
Our community deserves it.
Can I have a vote on this? All those in favor?
Well, let's,
Do we have to roll call
I'd
vote
like
on
to
this?
ro-
You gotta
motion to close,
close
public
Anyone
hearing.
want to speak on this?
Look out, everybody duck.
My name is Robert Prida, and I live at 12518 East 221st Street. I missed something. Explain to me, Glenn, excuse me, Leonard, what this gentleman, Joe was saying about losing some money. Can you explain what you just told? I missed the point about,
We didn't lose it, but we might have.
but could we save those people from being laid off? Is that what
Yeah,
you're
we
saying?
could have.
One,
Just one person?
yeah, because the money was for one person. Well, I mean, one is important.
Well, yeah, one is important, but then those people could have had their homes fixed too.
Because that one person actually implemented some of the programs that that spent the money so that our constituents could have reaped the rewards of.
Thank you very much.
But
I'm over the
never twice
snowballs.
as much money to use this year for this program.
In other words, a lot of snowball going on, that's for sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. I'll close the public hearing, and shall we have a first and a second to vote on this?
The motion.
So,
All
was there
those-
first, I'll make a motion to approve resolution, what is it, zero?
To
Eight
close the
dash
public
two
hearing.
thousand.
Got a motion to
Yes,
close,
you need a
right?
motion to vote.
He made the
I made,
motion.
I made a motion to close, right?
I made a motion to close.
There's a motion to close the public hearing. Councilmember Alvarez made the motion, and I believe it was seconded by.
I'll
Yes.
second it.
Mayor Constantine.
Okay, so we
and-
have
and
the
then I made
public
a
hearing
motion.
closed.
Yeah, we have public hearing closed, and then I made a motion
You take a
to,
vote. Gotta take a point of order. Gotta take a vote.
Okay,
thought there was an aye,
Roll call
maybe,
vote.
no.
And the motion is to close the public hearing.
And the motion's closed.
so we have to have a vote on closing it?
Well,
Vote on
technically
spending
speaking,
the money.
you don't need to have a motion to close the public hearing. All you have to do is say, I make a motion
To
to
close.
close the public hearing.
Second.
And, no, you can make a motion to close the public hearing and to approve resolution number 08-2000, so-and-so.
Now that's it.
Second, and you're all set.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, roll call vote.
So,
Yeah,
the
I
motion is.
did the motion, you know, to adopt resolution 08-2000.
And
then
close
just-
the public hearing, right?
Right,
Right,
Is that what your motion is?
yes.
and to
Second.
approve the resolution.
Councilmember Frida?
Yes.
Councilmember Cabrera?
Yes.
Councilmember Alvarez?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Titus?
Aye, aye.
Mayor Schultz?
All right. Well, we have no ordinance at this time to be, and then we have resolution, approval of resolution number 09-2000 to approve pre-issued warrants and regular payrolls for a total of $213,601.03.
Just a question. Who got the laptop?
I'm sorry,
Who got the laptop?
which one?
The one that's on the warrants?
One almost $3,000.
Which one was that, Joe? That was for two of them, right, Joe?
I'm looking at, trying to look at the invoice description. Where's it, this recently?
Yeah, it's on these warrants and payrolls.
Yeah, warrants and payrolls, first page.
$2,000 and something for a laptop.
What page is that?
The first page of the
warrants and payrolls.
agenda item. Backup.
On the which department?
City administrator,
Okay.
check number 12837.
Okay,
For a laptop
these were
computer.
bought last year though, and they were paid, I believe, so it's just showing up on this warrant register, but we already had, those were laptops from last year that were bought. Probably
See, all that's
November,
what-
One laptop?
probably November, December, for $2,458, yeah,
Well, that's one laptop.
yeah.
Who'd go to?
This one here
I
is
have
for,
one.
Oh, you have a laptop?
Yeah. It's a
Okay.
PC on my desk.
Okay. Do we have more?
yeah, there's one in planning,
There's one in planning.
But they were both done at the same time?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Is there some kind of rationale why we need laptops if we're providing computers?
Well, in regards to my situation, we weren't closed on Fridays, I'm not always here on weekends, so I use that also. And I use it also in the evenings. And that's fine to do city work. And, because I don't have a PC on my desk.
Who's burning the midnight oil, Leonard?
Just want to know that. And then the other issue was, let me see here. There was there were some charges, and I did question the maintenance supervisor today. There's my concerns about the drinking fountains being operable at C. Robert Lee, and that the stall dividers would be put in over at Ferris Fetty, and I might clarify the fact that no department head or staff member came to me concerning these issues, okay? They are just as a result that I'm an old department head and a staff member myself. And when I see stuff like that, it reflects on us, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I gotta say, good job, Joe, because after talking to him, he's already addressed a lot of the issues that I've
Who told you about all these drinking fountains that weren't working?
nobody. I walk in to see Robert Lee.
Irving,
No, listen to me. I walk in to see Robert Lee, and Joe Vasquez will tell you, I have a real fetish about drinking fountains that don't work. Okay? Mainly because I was an old rec director, and a lot of them weren't working, but before I even got to that point, Joe was already fixing them. So I want to thank Joe for that, because, you know, our kids, we can spend money on a lot of different things. We can spend money on what's happening.
So, you know what, in regards to the stalls also, I'm going to ask that, once again, I credit this go also to Public Works Department in regards to that, because, and then also, I need we need to recognize the sidewalks that have been repaired.
Right. That's another thing he did, yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing
So, I
Public
mean,
Works did. All Public Works.
but I guess what's going to be asked here is that, like, for example, if anybody sees any type of vandalism regarding the stalls or the drinking fountains or any of this, you know, going over and over and repairing these items, you know, as we all know, get very costly. And right now, if you look at the stalls, Ferris Fetty, you know, as compared to what
They were, yeah.
yeah.
Well, we got see Robert Lee too. That needs to be repaired in the men's bathroom. Not the
Also,
women's.
yeah, I think what we did also is that we've gone ahead and submitted for the upcoming state budget in regards to funding, in regards to Irving. Weren't there some items put in there regarding the concession stands and Irving somewhere else? Okay. But anyway, so we did submit a long list in regards to the ball fields also. Yeah, because they're still in need. Irving?
Yes, sir.
On the list that was submitted to the state, weren't some items listed in there for the concession stands?
Yes, sir.
What were they? What were they?
Huh?
What were they?
For the curtain and the inside, the lights.
what about the dividers between the,
We paid for that at general fund.
Those already fixed, including the light for the restrooms
Right.
and the curtain at Ferguson.
The curtain that comes down in front. Very good. You're on the ball.
What happened on that lighting regarding the...
For
remember
the
there was
field?
Yeah,
I got all the bids today,
okay.
and I go in your office tomorrow and give you the details.
Okay, and then also, you're having the, if I recall, the bleachers?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And the last time I talked to the contractor, he having a hard time getting the part for the bleachers because they're so old, and I think he's trying to get it to the East Coast to see if he can get those parts delivered over here to the center.
Do what you gotta do.
okay, I need a first and a second on this expenditures for the warrants.
Motion approved.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Councilmember Frida?
Aye.
Councilmember Cabrera?
Yes.
Councilmember Alvarez?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Titus?
Yes.
Mayor Schultz?
Aye. Under consent calendar, we have 3 items pertaining to the animal care and the minutes for February the 8th and Human Services Department monthly report for January. You want to pull something to
I just
discuss?
want to discuss some of these items. One is animal care and control, and the other one's human services report.
Pepper and I took care of the dogs today, didn't we?
We sure did.
Took care of the doggies. Okay. Well, I did a little quick math. Okay. And, you know, I think part of it was understanding how the county works and what's in our contract. And I know that some people come here and complain about the animal control, and ironically, they didn't know the deployment plan. But you get what you pay for. If you want consistent patrolling and in some kind of basis, you usually got to pay for it. This year it's $46.61 an hour. So if we had them constantly coming out patrolling like 2 days a week, 6 hours a day, let's say, 2 days a week, 52 weeks out of the year, it would cost the city $29,084.64. If you have them come out 8 hours a day, 2 days a week, it would cost us $38,779.52. And if you have them come out just 6 hours one day, it would cost the city an additional $14,542.32. Okay? Now, we can either call and hopefully do a raid every once in a while, or we can, and we'll still have the problem once the raid leaves, because the next day there'll probably be 4 or 5 dogs loose. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
So I say, let's solve this problem. You want to solve the problem? Well, you got to put some money in where your mouth is.
That's right,
Okay?
because they don't come out unless somebody calls
So let's solve the problem, gang. You know, let's help solve the
and
problem.
have them out there.
You know, we have them out there on certain days of the week. It's up to your call. Maybe we can direct staff to whip up an agenda item, throw it on there, or else we don't even have to do that, do we? I think we just instruct staff to, you know, to figure out what would be best for the community if we all.
What does it cost me right now? 18,000 or so? What's the cost?
For 6 hours, it's $14,542.32.
Once per week.
Well, at 6 hours, you
Right.
can have them come out 3 hours a day for
And I
2 days.
I don't think we see them once a week. It's better that you.
You won't. You only see them when
They
you
just
call.
come out if someone's
Okay.
called.
Yeah.
That's additional
Or
to the
when they come out
18,000,
to
right?
give you,
No, that's, yeah, additional to what we've got right
What
now.
we've got right now.
Yeah.
And we talked about, Tony, I don't know if it was you or somebody was mentioning about, you know, see what else or who else provides this service. I think it's the
Well,
county.
no, what we can do is that, for example, we can increase it, you know, needless to say, it would have to be not on a scheduled specific day, to be a day, because, you know, I'm sorry to say that, we have a situation here that, I mean, if one has a pet, one should be responsible.
Right.
Okay, not put the burden on the rest of the city. But that's not the case, and the city's not out of the norm, because this is, you know, a regular thing in various cities. But as the Mayor Pro Tem has just stated, though, it's more of a, how should I say, it's a reaction. They come out when they call. If you wish, if you all decide, you know, we can have come out here twice a week, you know, until we see a decrease, or to continue until we do see a significant decrease. But on the other end, we are asking that, you know, people be responsible.
Yeah, well, we don't have any right now. They don't come in, you know, but we don't have that luxury, what Glenn is saying. And
Right.
If we get it, I mean, you never know when you're gonna need it. You know, you can't be specific on Tuesdays or Wednesdays or Fridays, because if I have a dog and I know, oh, you know what, today they're supposed to come out, I'm gonna put everything inside. I think it should be random, you know, maybe
Yeah, that's
once a
what we
month, you
talked
know,
about.
do it at random, hey, you know, you.
Only Joe would know.
Only Joe would know.
He's not telling.
Right. And he better not tell no. But I mean, you know, to eliminate this, I saw a couple of pets, you know, walked my kids on 214th and Norwalk, and there was 2 of the black, and I don't know if anybody else saw these, what are those? They look like
Lavenders?
pets. No, not Lavender. Not
Bulldogs?
No, God, they're.
Rottweilers?
Rottweilers, yeah, 2 black Rottweilers. I mean, they didn't look very friendly at all.
And they
it's,
were
you know,
loose?
They were loose. So concern of that, see, you may need, to call up right then, because that could be dangerous, place somebody in danger. Now, we don't know when when you need it, but it wouldn't be a bad idea to have it once a month, see if it gets resolved, and if it doesn't, then we're spending our money. If we don't see no results at the end of the year, then we'll waste the money. If we see some results, then it might be worth it
Well,
to
we
invest
were
it.
talking to them about
Because some
every
kids,
other week.
my father got bit by a pit bull, and a few kids gotten bit by pit bulls. So, they are loose, and they are dangerous, and to, prevent someone from getting hurt, I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to spend a little money.
Yeah, I don't know what the minimum amount of hours that you could ask them to come out, okay? On a regular basis. If it's like, if we could get them to come out, even if it's 4 hours, if it's 4 hours, what would be 4 hours?
This city, backwards,
You
I
don't
can
think
do,
it takes 4
I
hours?
can do it in 4 hours backwards,
It takes them an hour to get from down here.
Right. From down, now,
where
do they
they're at.
charge from the minute
They
they
do.
do? Or
Sure. From Portal to Portal.
Well, maybe we can go with a
From
joint,
Southgate,
adjoining cities and go on adjoining cities, says, listen, you have these days that, they cover your city, to cover ourselves. Couldn't we do that?
Well, I'll tell you what, if, there seems to be a real strong commitment here in regards to animal control, period. And so, if you wish, we could do the sweeps, every other week or something like that. But meanwhile, at least twice a week, we could have somebody here on a regular basis.
It would cost
Okay.
about
To go
$3,600
up there.
once a week.
Yeah.
I mean, once a month, to
And
have
also, Tony, they might have a plan that they might offer us, like the police. They offer different packages. So we might want to talk to them about that. That rather than just tell them, come here 6 hours a day for 3 days, or
Yeah. If it's not
maybe they
needed.
have a plan.
It's based on hourly rate.
Yeah.
yeah.
We get coupons, we'll call it Don Canati. Let me see, 4 hours, 4 hours is a week. If you had to come out one day a week for 4 hours, $9,694.88. Have them come out 2 days a week, 4 hours, of course you double that, it'd be $19,389.76. $19,389.76.
I think if they come twice a month, Leonard, to start up, see what the results, I think it wouldn't be a bad idea.
Twice a month?
I would suggest, or I would recommend at this time that maybe,
How many hours?
Well, see what's needed. I mean, then come up with. See how long does it take?
How much you want to spend?
Yeah.
how would you be interested at this time right now in order to maybe try to establish, where they'd be out twice a week, go from there, take it from there, see how it's doing, see the feedback that you're getting from, from the public, and still also do the sweeps, at a specific
19
time in the future.
If you had them come out 4 hours a day, twice a week, it would cost the city $19,389.76. That ain't too bad.
It's very
Is
that a month?
For how many
Yeah.
weeks?
Tony?
How many weeks is it?
52 weeks.
Yeah.
Every
Tony,
week.
You have,
Twice a week.
the days, and Petra is right, and also another day that you see dogs out there the most is when there's trash out there in the houses because they do go and make their rounds. Okay, and usually if that happens, maybe there wouldn't be a better to disclose it even when it's going to be done. But there's some people can't control their dogs, and they get out when there's trash out there. So there's
And not
really-
only that, they're out there at the time when there's a lot of children walking to school. They're very dangerous.
So they let them out at night too?
So I say we need it at least twice a week.
Yeah. So Tony, check in to see what packages are available and see if something could be.
Could I recommend that maybe we'll get into a formal package, because there has to be something back here, coming back to law anyway formally. But meanwhile, that at least let us proceed with twice a week until we get that formal package to you.
Okay.
And that formal package would be here on the 14th of March.
Sure.
So we'll have something going.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Okay, so is there a consensus then for twice a week, 4 hours a day? Is that what I'm hearing?
And then with the formal package
those
coming
in
back
favor?
on the 14th of March.
Okay. So
How does that?
We have a doggy
you
patrol.
got consensus from.
Okay, we need from everyone.
All those in favor?
So-
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Any other item you want to discuss?
Also, what we'll do, we have, what was the name of the manager? Okay.
Marvin Stitz.
Yeah, Marvin Stitz. And we'll place that name and telephone number there at the, with the receptionist, both of them, Tony and Tina. Okay, and also what they do, we found out today, they tape all the calls that come in.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And they
how
destroy them quickly afterward.
Well, I didn't say when to destroy them, I just said
Yeah,
they taped them.
Right.
that's what we found
We
out.
recorded
They
this one.
tape all the calls that's
Yeah.
coming through so they can check back.
Now, if Marvin Stitz works Monday through Friday, who do we contact on the weekend?
Okay, we'll get that name
we're
and
gonna
we can
get
see,
that one.
you know, who to contact on the weekend.
You call this number and then. get the other-
And if Marvin isn't available, who do you contact during the week? We
We'll
need to
find out who's on duty.
find out who
on
it is.
weekends.
That was a meeting that.
We'll find out who the
you
top dog is. And
and
Oh, yeah.
Placido-
Either that or it's gonna be,
Placido, this is the meeting that you and Leonard missed.
The top
Petra
dog,
and I
yeah.
took.
yeah, we didn't even know we had.
we didn't, I didn't know.
News to me.
Oh, we took care of business.
You're
Yeah,
all
we
right.
did it.
Thank you.
Nice we did.
Now you guys,
We went to
we'll
take
pay you
care of
overtime.
business.
Yeah, right.
Okay, take care of those
Your
dogs.
stipend check will stay the same.
Okay, we took care of the animals. The minutes, February the 8th.
Motion
Any
to receive and
corrections?
file.
Second,
Second.
All those in favor?
All right.
aye.
Anyone disagree?
2 seconds.
Human Services Department monthly report.
Okay, here we go. All right, folks. It's an item that I wanted you to look at because it's something that, you know, and I gotta commend them, Human Services, for all their work, you know. All I gotta do is find it or anything.
Where?
Heck is it? Where'd you put it at? Figure I can just thumb through it. But one of the things that I wanted to point out is the Human Services report. And that report shows, and public information, folks, if you wanted to be my guest to FOIA it, I don't care, request the information. But
We agree.
on the section, all the participants, I noticed one thing too, if you notice, folks, the weight room had more participants than any other activity. Okay? 326. So, boy, open it and they will come.
And basketball, 245. so.
Yeah. Under ATGM, folks, this is a one classroom session per week, okay? Now, ATGM, funded by the city, is that CDBG, Joe?
Yes.
I think it is, right? Okay. We serve 360 kids, okay, a week out of Melbourne Elementary and Hawaiian Elementary, okay? But left, not named here, is Ferguson Elementary, okay? Now, the problem is that, from what I understand, the powers that be at Ferguson do not want the city to come personally and exercise the program on a classroom basis every week, okay? Somehow, it is believed it's a detriment to their education. In a school that had a 414 API score, the lowest in the district. Probably the toughest school that's in the district, but for some reason, the powers that be over there in Ferguson just decides they don't want this particular privilege. Along with the ATGM program, I'm going to tell you something. There are after-school activities, and there's sports activities to keep kids off the street, and we're willing to fund that out of our pockets, not the school district's pockets, okay? So we're willing to fund that program out of our own pockets, which is a great program, okay? Again, Melbourne and Hawaiian are participatory. Our ATGM project names Ferguson as one of the participant schools. It's ironic that they would have this attitude. I think the attitude is that they don't even want to open the gates at their playground because they're anal retentive about their property over there. And you have to understand that they think it's their property and they have the grant deed to that property, and so somehow they own it, okay? It's a falsehood. You own that property. Everybody here owns that property. And somehow the powers that be there don't want basketball for those kids in that tough area to take place after school, okay? However, that same powers that be will call this city and ask us to use the C. Robert Lee Community Center for assemblies and programs because they don't have a central location for their kids. And not once that I know of, have we ever turned them down. Not once. And we have spent a lot of our time and effort and public funds to assist the school district in putting on those programs, cleaning up, and doing everything else that goes along with the overhead for the operation of those programs. Again, ATGM has 2 participatory schools, and the toughest school we have with the lowest API scores does not want to participate. That's why I'm pulling this. That's why I'm trying to educate people. I hope the cable's running. It's probably not, but it's a damn shame because I'm telling you right now, there's problems in this little city that we have to address. That program's a good program.
Didn't we utilize Ferguson for the program more than the other schools at one time?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Why we're not getting that kind of cooperation now from the principal over there, I don't know. But I know one thing, we certainly have paid our price to be cooperative with the ABC School District. I mean, we let them use our facilities for the adult school for free. I mean, I don't understand this. I don't understand why we can let them use our facilities day in and day out, and we have something that goes for the benefit of our kids, and we can't get that accomplished. So be educated, people. That's what's happening.
Leonard, I think what you said is mainly the principal, not so much the district, but the principal is the one that's pretty much. So I think maybe the address should be to the principal, and
But that principal certainly should be knowledgeable enough and cognizant of, the fact that, geez, I'm going to call 420-2641 and request that an assembly, talk to Irving, and he'll give me the assembly. But hey, you can't use the school for ATGM purposes after school. I mean, that's just like, hey,
Well, that's definitely needed. The kids, because there's limited parks here in the city, so it's definitely a place that you need, to have. And I think maybe.
So that's why I say what I say about this stuff. I'm not, shooting from the hip here, gang. I know exactly what's going on over there. And we're going to deal with it, and we're going to deal with it post haste because it's been an issue that's been going on. The sad thing about it is that now it's affecting Melbourne and it's affecting Hawaiian, because if we can't show a participation out of Ferguson, there's a chance that CDBG would disallow those funds that we spend. We'd have to pay general fund to do that. Okay? So understand that this principal over there is not only jeopardizing her school by not implementing the program, but she jeopardizes all 3 schools. Okay? That's how sad of a situation we have right now. Understand that situation. That's what it is. It's not benefiting our city whatsoever.
Because we're supposed to provide that for all the schools.
That's right. Absolutely. And that's all I have to say.
Okay. Under discussion items, we have the census program, agreement between the Los Angeles County and the City of Weingarten to completely count all of our residents.
Ms. Alma Mayor, this is basically approving an agreement between the County of Los Angeles and the City of Hawaiian Gardens for the establishment of a complete count committee of the census outreach services. This is a mere item that was on the last agenda, and in order to draw down the funds, we need an agreement with the county, and that's what this request is
And
for.
our residents will participate with the county? Is that what?
These are funds for the city to draw down to promote activities, to promote the information on the census program.
Yeah, we almost missed this. Because isn't it March they start the counting?
April 1st.
April 1st.
You know, Betty, that's something that's so important to our city because, you know, there's people that don't understand that depending on the population is the money that you get. And there's people that just kind of, you know, let it be, not be part of it. But everyone should participate in this. Everyone should be accounted for because we're losing out as a city if you don't get the right head count. I know we have a lot more than 15,000 that we say we have. There's a lot more than that. So maybe we're losing out on some money, some more money that can be brought from the state. And, you know, everyone should participate to make sure you're counted and, you know, or register yourself.
What was the fee per head? For each person we don't get counted?
I don't remember, but.
97.41 or something.
Yeah, it's like close to $100. Yeah, I thought it was close to $100. I didn't know the exact figure, but close to $100. So can you imagine if there's, you know, even if there's 20 people that are missing a couple $1,000? I mean, you know, even a small thing can still be something to the city.
Another thing, I guess, in our town really needs to be expounded upon is the fact that you won't get in trouble. You're not going to get in trouble by IRS, INS. I don't care what it is. They do not divulge any of that information to any other government entity. Okay, everything is completely confidential, and so there's absolutely no reason for not, you know, allowing your family to be counted. And they got a lot of good people working out there. They got bilingual people. They're working hard, and believe me, nobody's turning you in. Nobody's doing a thing. Okay, they do their best. If you see the TV ad, to tell everybody, no names being turned over to anybody. It's just solely confidential information. I don't think even the FBI gets the information. Okay, so believe me, it's something that all of our citizens need to cooperate with and get the count in. We need it.
Well, you know, the thing is, Leonard, you mentioned something, and I think it's INS, Immigration Naturalization Service. That's even something that's confidential. That's, you know, as number, you all get treated the same. But some people fear that even if their status is not legal here or are going through the process, they should be counted.
But there's people that, there's more than one family in a house. They're not going to tell you they have two families.
Yeah.
Joe Colombo won't get anything from the federal government.
I think there's a recommendation.
Recommendation to approve. I'll make recommendation to approve.
All those in favor?
Second.
Anyone disapprove? Number 3 is a request by the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, Lakewood Station, for members of the United States Marine Corps to spend Friday evenings at the C. Robert Lee Activity Center.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you.
Well, maybe Tony, can he tell us something? Maybe something that you were here to, I'm sure, give us a little information on this.
I'll be more than happy to.
Just a quick brief and see what.
Deputy Scott Mayfield, I'm the VITA deputy, so that's what you can call me. VITA stands for Violent Intervention and Directional Alternatives. It's basically a boot camp for kids on Saturday that the Sheriff's Department started. During the week, what I do is I check on the kids to make sure they're in school. I drug test them, I search their homes and take their gang attire and their whatever else away from them. They're also required to go to counseling 1 day a week with their families on Tuesday nights at Wilson High School currently. But we have the Marine Corps, they come up and do the discipline part for us because deputy sheriffs aren't really that good at the military type stuff. So they run the kids around, they PT the kids, and they volunteer their free time. They're just kids from Camp Pendleton anyway, and they want to get away from the base. And currently we've been giving them, I've been going around getting them free hotel rooms on Friday nights to stay in. And it sure runs out soon, you know, you're welcome. So this is why we...
What is the age of the...
goes from 11 to 17 and a half, but mainly we don't have too many kids that are in 17. We have mainly like 11 to 15.
Yeah, the younger ones probably...
Does that include girls?
We have girls and boys. Doesn't matter. A lot of my kids from our area, I'll be honest with you, I came down to Weingarten originally to get most of the kids, and I didn't get any. I made phone calls personally to the school, gave me names of kids that were maybe good for the program, benefit from the program, and I called all those parents, and they said, not my kid. So I said, fine. I got one kid, he goes to Artesia High School out of this class. And it's a 16-week program, so we rotate kids, so I'm looking for kids for the next program.
Will there be flyers sent out or something? Because there's some children that fit that age bracket right across the
There's
street.
a lot. We're working on a lot of stuff. They've given me as one deputy to do it all, and I'm trying everything and anything I can.
If I may recommend, Mr. Grayfield, to get maybe part of the council here, because, that's our job, to make sure that we go to these parents. A lot of the parents are still in this kind of protect mode and keep a distance as police-community relations. They don't quite understand that, because there's been some things in the past that hasn't been, the best on both sides. But, you were to, I'd like your help on this. What if we go today and talk to these families and tell them what it's all about so they feel comfortable? I think once they know you, they say, okay, if he says it would be a good program, because I think it is an excellent thing for these kids. There's also, if we, give you some names and numbers, maybe the parents that tell us.
That's great. I'll take any suggestions.
If we had flyers, I could pass out flyers.
Hey, I'll cook
in that
breakfast.
area.
She'll pass
I'll give
it.
Irving some flyers and he can
I'll cook
give-
breakfast.
We got
It's
a
all
few
right.
spots that.
Hopefully we're
make sure they
gonna
get
make
used.
these flyers. I was hesitant with the flyers because they're not that professional, because I had to kind of make them, so. we'll
As
try
long
to
as the
get
message gets across,
we'll try to get
don't have
some-
to be
And if we
professional.
could have it on cable too, maybe,
That would also
would help.
would be great.
11 to 17.
11,
huh?
17, and a lot of our kids, we're in combination with Norwalk and Pico Revere stations. They've given, and Lakewood, we work together. A lot of their kids, the court has mandated the kids be in the VITA program. We had Judge Daniels out of Norwalk Traffic Court. She says, as part of your probation, you must do the VITA program. Our kids are voluntary. I wanted parent participation. And that's not working so great, but it's working. So, our 15 kids, we get 15 spots out of the 47 kids our station does.
So if anybody wants to donate their steel-toed boots to the city,
We could use so
We'll
much
take all you
stuff.
got.
It's, the city of Norwalk gave us office space. We pay out of our pocket, so for the Marines to eat lunch in the afternoon on Saturday, the three deputies that do the program, because we know these Marines have to eat. So there's all kinds of things. The parents pay $60, $59. What is it? What is it? $69, and we supply them with the drug testing and 2 uniforms that the kids wear during the program. And we take field trips, and I've got free tickets to go see the Ice Dogs when our kids get their act together. The sports arena has given us free tickets for them to come down there and watch a hockey game when our kids get moving. So we do reward the kids also.
Okay.
Maybe good things.
but you give them an initial dose of whoop ass, right?
We definitely do. The Marine Corps is good at that.
I know, they do that really well. That's why I joined the
Yeah, they're tough.
What is the dates on this again?
That's why Lupe joined the army.
What are the dates?
The dates,
Friday, what do you mean, the dates for?
For this program?
Lupe will jump on
We
it.
meet on Saturdays.
Are you doing that now already?
Right, we're in our 6th week of the program, and it's every Saturday.
Super job.
thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Catherine? Aye. Anyone opposed?
Anybody in the right mind?
Okay. Now we do the
Well, there was one item there, number
Sure.
2,
number 2.
yeah, E2 under discussion.
Yeah.
It was really addressed, but
All those in favor of what we discussed on the animals? You know,
We had agreed on
We had
that.
agreed to that, right?
Yeah,
So, yeah,
for
and
some
agree.
reason it's on the agenda as E2 as well.
Because
Oh,
the
E2?
discussion that took place during
it's the same
item,
thing.
yeah, was actually E2 is when we were supposed to have the motion and second.
Okay, motion.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
You got a second?
second.
The other report was just a monthly report on activities and animals. E2 is actually the report on the animal control services.
Okay.
Anything else, Sean?
E4?
E4?
that was the item,
Keep it straight, baby.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Our special thing we put on the agenda tonight, the PIC program and the
Addendum.
childcare.
Yeah, I'm going.
See you? Did the guys bail out on you tonight?
Yes, they did. They left me all alone, so I'm just here to answer any questions that you might have.
I was wondering maybe if you could give the council and the audience maybe a summary as to.
Synopsis of what you're going to do.
And also
And
what.
where?
Okay,
What is
today.
it you're asking for?
What we're asking for. Today, we met with a few of the council people and updated them on the urban village. Again, the concept of the urban village is to bring services to the community. By the way, the VITA program is stationed at our Norwalk facility at the urban village. So
That's somewhere up
they're
north?
They're part of us now.
Is that somewhere up north?
Pardon?
Is that somewhere up north?
Yes, across the way here. Anyway, we would like to duplicate what we're doing in the city of Norwalk and the city of Cerritos here in Hawaiian Gardens. And a lot of you know that we've tried several times. Bill made the commitment last time that we were here that we would be in the city on March the 1st regardless. This morning we went to see a site, I call it the 99-cent center. I don't know if that's what it is, but it's on the corner of Carson and Norwalk Boulevard. Not where the old 99 cents was, but where the new one is, where the Bank of America is. There's almost, I would say, almost 10,000 square feet available there that's unoccupied. We took the Mexican American Foundation to view the site to see if it was feasible for them to provide childcare, and it looks like it could be done. They would need 3,000 square feet for inside area, and then they would need almost double that on the outside area. The people that are leasing the property, which is the 99 Cents Corporation, are very agreeable for us to go in there and provide the daycare center and also provide the urban village. So we were very excited about that. I think it's a perfect location. There's a lot of traffic there. With the Food for Less being right across the way, I think that would also help people know that we're located there. The other thing is that we noticed that with the home base, they were a lot of day laborers that were there all day long. We were there about 11, and there were still a lot of day laborers there. The PIC could help as far as providing job leads, retraining, all of that kind of information. So the center would be available for that. The daycare center would also be available for anyone that would go into training. So the combination of both the urban village and the daycare center, I think, are essential to your city. Mario Munoz, which is the deputy director of the child care center, had a great idea that not only could we use the daycare center during the day for people that are looking for jobs or in training, but in the evening for those that have to work in the casino and could not have daycare center made available to them, that maybe that could be another option. The state requires that daycare centers are open from 6 to 6 during the day, but then the facility would be available to other residents that had to work in the evening in the casino. The options are all there. I mean, in behalf of the Mexican American Foundation, I'm just saying what he said to Tony and the rest of you this morning is that he would need to have some funding made available to him to get that property ready. There has to be some fencing. The playground has to be reconstructed out of the parking lot. Just some redevelopment things. I think he said about $5,000 was the amount that he quoted, Tony, to you this morning. Was that the amount?
No, I think it was more than that, but I guess what the, okay, I would recommend, based on the concept that, what they're looking for is putting both elements there, the child daycare and then also the, I'm going to call it PIG in the interest of,
yeah.
But that maybe with the ad hoc committee, that any financial arrangements, would be reviewed by the ad hoc committee and then, determined at that level. Because the whole idea of, regards to the child daycare center also is that a very important element is that they would also train local residents, because they have made that commitment to train the residents to start up their own child daycare centers at their home. This would be, for example, 6 children maximum per house.
Then they would guarantee that they'd have 3 children. They wouldn't have to, 6 children. They wouldn't have to go out and recruit.
And we were,
Take care of.
and we were told today that a person conducting child daycare center that would be licensed also by the state, and the most important thing also is that they would receive that training to get that license locally. They wouldn't be going, to other entities, other cities. And my understanding, or what was related today, was that a person having a child daycare center at their home for infant care, for example, the state requires that they get paid $500 per child per month. And when you look at
6 children, that's $3,000.
So that's where, and then also the commitment that there was to go forward and implement the PIC.
The PIC,
Okay,
yeah.
because in fact you had somebody at the last council meeting, I think, approached you about.
Yes, we had 3 phone calls after the last meeting of agencies and just residents that were interested in the concept and wanted to be a part of that. So we were excited about that. I think the other thing is that.
And you already did a job placement.
Correct. We also found somebody a job, so everything turned out really well. And those are just some of the things that we could do for the city. And I think that everybody's recognized that the benefit of being here is a big benefit to the city. With the casino there, Tony mentioned that 25% of the employees that were hired were from the city of Hawaiian Gardens. I say to you, I think that could be 75% if we were here to retrain and train your residents to get jobs there. And that would just be a start for them. So I think, the
And
opportunities
also
are here.
If I may, in conversing with the manager of the casino, Mr. Sarabi, Rob
Yeah.
Sarabi, and discussing this concept with him, he was very much interested. I mean, it's always good if you can provide training for people, but it's even better when you say, you know what, there's an end, there's a job there. It's not just a matter of getting training, now where do I go? I'm not saying that that's a guarantee they'll go pick up every one. They still have that option, of course, that's their right as individuals. But if we know what specifically they're looking for,
Correct.
Cecilia has also stated that they can even customize or modify.
Yeah,
the specific type of training.
we have different set of monies that are for retraining and customized training. So those are things that we could also look at.
Are you working with Brad Pearl on the lease, or are you going to Jeff Gold?
No, we're going with is it Pearl, Mr. Pearl?
Mr. Pearl?
Yeah, we
Um,
yeah.
I was going to ask you, have they set a square footage amount per square foot?
I'm sorry, but I can't hear you.
Have they set a square foot cost?
Yes, they have. And it's still negotiable because that's the way it just goes. They start out with one price and then we go in with another price.
Well, the reason I'm asking is that I was the guy who actually sold that center to 99-cent store, and avoided the balloon payment, I might add. And I know Jeff Gold pretty well, and if you need help along those lines, getting a hold of Mr. Gold and talking to him, I can do that.
I think it's going to have to be a partnership. And a partnership, I'm talking about a partnership with a PIC. Not only a partnership, but also a commitment with the City of Hawaiian Gardens, the PIC, and the Mexican American Foundation. That's the only way that we're going to get the services here, is if we have that kind of a partnership.
You're going to need help with getting the facility.
Yeah, we're going to need a lot of help. The PIC itself, with the facility that we looked at, we were looking at one of the units that was empty there, and it's, I think, like around 2,000 square feet, where it was a laundromat before. That's going to take a lot of work for us to make that so that we could have an office there.
What
So-
about where the police station was?
That would be the daycare center, because they need to be close to the parking so that they could have the playground right there.
Is Brad Pearl telling you that you have to pay for those improvements?
We haven't negotiated all of that, but there is a certain amount that
Well, let me
that we're
save
going
you
to have
some
to
money
pay for.
really cool, real quick.
Yeah, let Leonard,
Let me save you some quick money, okay? That is not the responsibility of the lessee.
And again, I don't feel comfortable speaking in behalf of Mario Munoz, and Tony knows his situation, and.
Well, you don't have to speak on behalf of them, I'm just giving you some good advice.
Okay,
Okay?
and I'll take that, Leonard.
Take the
I will.
advice
Yeah.
and know that, that the lessor, okay, is responsible for that, for those tenant improvements.
They would need to be subsidized, and again, I don't feel comfortable addressing that, but the Mexican American Foundation would need to be subsidized to be able to go into that facility.
Yeah, depending on, but if it's tenant improvements, you shouldn't be paying any of that.
Well, you might look at tenant improvements in two different ways. Tenant improvement for them is putting up the fence, putting in all the equipment that has to be put in to continue with the daycare center.
because weren't you talking about where the little park is there?
Correct, we would need the park, we would need that little park that's in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
and also some of the slots in the parking lot that go around the building.
I think, Cecilia, I think everything's negotiable, and I think if you get someone to represent you at your end that can negotiate for you, I think that can be done. I know what
Well,
that's
this
what
is
I'm
why
saying.
with the ad hoc committee and PIC and Mexican American Opportunity Foundation, as she stated about a partnership.
Right.
Because you all have some certain insights as to, what's happened in the past.
But I
And
think
if the
Station
99-cent
is ready
store,
to start Today, Dean's Leonard knows the gentleman.
and if the 99-cent store is a tenant basically of the city of Hawaiian Gardens, then, it behooves all of us to
Not our
work together.
tenant, we sold it.
Yeah, he owns the 99
Yes,
cent.
I understand that, but if it's empty, it doesn't pay him anything.
That's true.
Yeah, so, you're right, it's a very negotiable item.
Yeah.
As
But we
far as
are-
the child daycare center, also in the evenings, when that was brought out, that was great, not only in regards to the casino, but also to the bingo, to other employers where, they have to work in the evening, or they have their employees working in the evening, so somebody that has to work beyond 6 o'clock in the evening.
Right. Well, it sounds like you're on your way. That's very good.
I had a call after the meeting from the Girl Scouts, and they wanted to know if they could use our facility on Saturdays to have a troop meeting. And that is the commitment of the PIC in any city that we go, is that we become involved in the community. And I said to her, regardless of where we go, you will be able to use our facilities on Saturdays. And again, that's the concept of having an urban village. It's for the community, not for
And then the
anyone else.
one lady that has the program over at Leeward Park, she's going to be a
Yeah,
part of your program too.
Correct.
Oh, yeah. They're gonna be part of it.
And her programs are very, very intricate in getting the people from the home base. Because she would be providing ESL, citizenship classes, GED prep, all of that.
Yeah, because you were saying you didn't want to duplicate.
Of course not, no.
Programs.
That's not the concept of an urban village, not to duplicate services.
And also the fact that in regards to the training, in regards to the day labor in a central location in order to
Correct.
recruit for employment.
They don't get picked up for work that day, they could come to our center and we could retrain them, or at least help them with their education or their citizenship.
Yeah, there was some concerns. I got a call on that, now that you mentioned that. And I did notice that sometimes it becomes a little bit tough on a safety issue when there's running to get to a truck to get picked up to go to work. Sometimes it creates a problem for some other people. And it does happen early in the morning, because I take that route every day. I drive to the, so.
Did you notice more gentlemen standing out there this last weekend?
I didn't really
Because
check.
I had reports.
I think because of the rain, they weren't getting hired. A lot of the jobs that they do stop
Well, I
because of
don't
the
think a
weather.
lot of them get hired anyway, they just hang out.
You'd be surprised.
That's right, then they do spend the rest of the
You know,
day.
to get out of the house.
I understand.
You must have seen me out there.
Okay.
Yeah, that or the government's lying about their unemployment
Thank you, Cecilia.
statistics.
Well, excuse me, if I may, I'm sorry, it was not an information, it was for commitment, but also to ensure that if you do, wish to continue with this, and also, and once again, when the fiscal matters come up, that they would be addressed by the ad hoc committee, that type of commitment, but also to ensure that all requirements are met, you know, in the implementation of this. And it's just brought to my attention by Joe, it's just a reminder that CUPs and variances need to be addressed.
Yeah.
So it's all that, you know, it's not just tomorrow we'll open the doors, but, you know, working together as a partnership, and that's, I guess, what's being asked this evening.
Correct.
Not only working from a fiscal point of view.
Yes. The other thing is that the possibility of losing that many is very real.
Yeah.
So that's, we're,
So you have to have a building.
Well, not only that, but I mean, you know, when you look at, you know, from the city's participation financially, a small amount versus $1.5 million, I mean, anytime I can put in a few thousand and get back to.
Yeah. Because we're maybe discussing something like between 45 and 50, maybe not that much.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that, you know, nothing has been finalized, broken down, but it's
For
still
a
something,
million
it's still,
something,
yeah.
You can waste them all seed.
So, that was.
Do we all agree that?
Agree. Item 4E, I don't know if there's a resolution or anything that, you know.
Just a motion.
Motion to agree.
All those in favor?
A second.
Anyone disagree? You're gonna help, you're gonna talk to Mr. 99-cent store guy, right?
If they want me to, I don't want, I'm not gonna do anything unless.
I didn't hear you.
If you need my assistance, you can give me a call for
Yeah, I will.
Jeff Gold. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cecilia. Okay, oral staff reports?
Joe?
Other than there's a primary election that we're gearing up for, well, the county is, and we're assisting them. We will be having 3 polling locations in the city.
Different than the usual, huh?
A little different. I believe there's 2 sites at the C. Robert Lee Center, and there's one at Lee Ware. And the city's not directly involved other than providing the facilities locally.
How come they're not utilizing Fetty School now? Because I got a card somewhere on Parson.
That's next to where the bingo is. I'll be working there.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm not,
okay.
since it's being handled through the county.
It was changed.
And I think what's really important here, because if I
Get the
recall
donuts
right,
out there?
the last time the county
Yeah,
had an
and the
election,
coffee.
people thought that we were involved with the staff.
And a lunch even.
But we're not involved with that at all. As Lucy just stated, we're only here for the purpose of providing facilities.
The county pays more money, right, Lucky?
No, they don't.
No.
City does.
The city pays more.
The city pays more, and we've provided them throughout the day. with
I've had to buy the donuts for the last 3 years.
Lunch
And the
and, lunch
pizza.
and dinner.
I don't think you have to pay.
I'm gonna go
Pardon?
with you.
I don't think you have to pay for them this year.
Or they
No,
can be
he's gonna
provided.
eat the donuts this time.
No, we always had a
Okay.
policy for people who are stuck at that job. People, it's a thankless job. You get paid nothing.
I know.
You get to take a lot of crap from people. At least this thing you can do is buy some donuts for these polling place workers and
But the
give them.
city, the city is the only organization that buys donuts for the employees. We never got any.
Oh yeah, county
a
doesn't
county.
even give
They doesn't give us nothing.
They don't give you any.
For all
That's why I
36.
quit doing it.
Irving, do you have a?
Yeah, really.
No, sir.
You don't have anything to announce like on March the 1st?
Oh, the mayor prayer breakfast. Sorry. Yes, we are in the final detail of the mayor prayer breakfast, which is going to be on March 1st. And we also already working on the Don H. Schultz Memorial Golf Tournament, which is going to be July 7th. And also we are finding the ways to see what we can do for Cinco de Mayo and 4th of July. And also coming up is the student government day. We need to finalize the day with the ferry since they are having tests, and they're gonna give me a date so we can do that
Are
program.
you still in the process of recruiting volunteers for the July 7th golf tournament?
Yes, sir. I'm gonna send a memo for all the staff, for city council members that wanna be part of the committee for the golf
No,
tournament.
I'm not talking about it, and I'm talking about volunteers from outside.
Yes, sir.
Especially sponsors.
Yeah, we're pulling some from Santa Ana.
Mayor and Council, just as a reminder on the state of California, known as the board, the California Integrated Waste Management Board, as I brought to your all attention some time ago, they determined that the city of Hawaiian Gardens was not in compliance with 9596 source reduction under AB 1600. They were close to, they had a board meeting where they wanted us to take certain actions. If not, then the city would be subject to $10,000 a day fine for non-compliance of AB 1600 because of the efforts of the Community Development Office, Department, and also because of Consolidated and various staff people. Basically, I'll be in Sacramento for the board meeting where their staff is recommending that we have met the compliance and that we'll be removed from that, what I call hit list. And so,
Another one of the things that I did when I was a city administrator, within the first 2 weeks, I think, right, Joe? We implemented the waste program because it was neglected. For all that time, we were going to get fined $10,000 a day. And probably one of the first things I did was to implement that program. And good thing. Staff really worked hard on it. I didn't think we were ever not in compliance. I thought we beat the...
Well, they were
looking at
making us sweat a lot.
yeah, they were looking at 3 cities. Basically, they had a board meeting in '98, and at that time they determined that the city was still non-compliant, and that's when they really came out strong, December 15th of '98. And they were looking at 3 cities that were going to be used as an example for the rest of the cities in the state who hadn't been in compliance. And proud to say that Hawaiian Gardens, their staff is recommending that we be removed from that and that we are in compliance.
Well, they look at fiscal year 95 and 96, is that
Yeah.
what you said? Because that was done in January of 95. That would have been FY 94, 95.
Yeah. No, this was for ever since 95, 96.
Yeah, we were in compliance.
Well, they said you weren't.
Yeah, for the worse.
Okay, anyone else? We have staff reports, council reports. Do you have anything? I had something, but I forgot.
Just something real quick, and maybe it's a question at the same time. There's been a number of accidents on 21300 block on Norwalk Boulevard, from the park side when people come out. There's some buses and some trucks that park on the west side of the street, and it's a blind spot. You cannot see a car coming from traveling southbound on Norwalk Boulevard. And I believe probably there's at least one a week accidents. And there was a very serious accident this past week, past Sunday, which someone got hurt. And I think I did talk to a police officer, and they did go out, this is in the past, to have a bus removed because they were putting their bus there by the fire station. To have that all painted red so there'd be no parking there, because I'd hate to lose someone because of that. But if we, and I'm gonna go see if I can get the report from the police officers, see how many accidents has happened there in the past year. You'd be surprised. I mean, there's at least once a week, if not twice a month, there's accidents there.
It is hard to see when you're
Yeah.
coming out of
Okay,
there.
that's your hard down there. Yeah, it's
I've
impossible.
been out there a few
Yeah.
times.
It's impossible.
There's another bad spot where people should not park trucks. As a matter of fact, it needs to be repainted red. People are parking trucks. It's on the corner of Carson and Hawaiian Street. And that place right there where they sell pool supplies, sometimes they put the trash bins sticking out, instead of putting it this way. they got it that way, so you have to go around that thing to make a left-hand turn. And they should be ticketed, because again, you cannot see the oncoming traffic, and that's where I got hit, that's why I know.
Who do we, Tony, to propose, would it be Will District to do a study? And since now there's enough money in the CDBG, I think it can be used for that?
We'll look into that, and also with the sheriff department.
Okay.
So,
Public Safety Commission.
And then there's another thing that we have a problem right there in Hawaiian, that place where they have popcorn and all that kind of stuff.
That apples, that candy apple place.
Well, whatever, they have this
Fun
big rigs parked right in the middle of the street. You're coming around the corner, you can run right into that, and not enough room as it is. They take up the whole street. There's not enough room to go around or for the cars coming.
Depends how fast you're coming, right?
Yeah, and they shouldn't park their big rigs right in the middle of the street.
Okay, I'm going to
That's another
recess
thing that
the
Public Safety
council
Commissioner would
meeting
take
and
care of.
shift over to redevelopment.
You'll be adjourning.
Okay, I'll adjourn to March the 14th, Tuesday. And we did the roll call on redevelopment. Okay. And we did the oral communications?
No, you did not, Madam Mayor.
Okay, oral communications, things on the agenda for redevelopment? Nope. Things not on the agenda for redevelopment? Nope. Okay, under new business, we have resolution 2000-03 approving pre-issue warrants and regular payrolls for a total of $10,843.20.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call vote?
Director Pepita?
Yes.
Director Cabrera?
Yes.
Director Alvarez?
Yes, I'm sorry, I was reading here.
Vice Chair Member Childers?
Yes.
Chair Member Schultz?
Yes. We have a presentation of the following dates to approve our minutes, February the 8th,
Motion to receive and
and
file.
the regular meeting.
Second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, this one's a good one. Discussion of existing policy relating to the development of agencies' own 25-foot lots.
go ahead, John.
Honorable Chairperson and members of the redevelopment agency. As you know, the redevelopment agency had been very proactive with its affordable housing program, where it had acquired multiple substandard properties, whether they be dilapidated structures or substandard parcels, i.e. 25-foot lots. The agency had acquired these parcels, demolished them, rebuilt them, and where possible, they had combined 25-foot lots, taken 3 of them and splitting them in half, making them 37.5 feet wide. And recently, we have been able to sell quite a few other parcels and combining the substandard lots and making them legal lots. We have now approximately 6 lots left, which are not part of the Dead End Street project, because we have a lot more properties available in the Dead End Street project, which is being reserved for a future Dead End Street expansion. Of these 6 parcels that are available, 4 of them are substandard, being that they're 25 by 100 or 50 by 50, and still 2,500 square feet. And staff is requesting reaffirmation of a previous policy that the agency has tried to eliminate these substandard parcels and combining them with other adjacent parcels, and if not, waiting for the opportunity to acquire other properties so that we can eliminate the substandard properties. Traditionally, we would get requests from developers making offers on a 25-foot lot and bringing it to council in closed session, and then having to get back to the developer and telling them no, they prefer to just sit on it and wait to see what happens next. So staff's recommending that, we're requesting a reaffirmation of the policy so that we don't have to continue putting these items on the agenda in closed session if that is a desire of the agency.
You know, we've had, how many years have we had those lots vacant? People, adjoining neighbors can't buy them because they can't afford them. And also, they just, you know, a lot of them are renters, so, you know, the owner's not gonna buy that. Is it maybe worth it to put them out, you know, put them for sale and try to see if a developer can come in and put some properties at least under so we can get some properties back in the tax roll? I know they're substandard.
that they weren't the dead-end streets?
No, the 6 that we're talking about are 2 on Pioneer Boulevard, right at the corner of 223rd Street, or 221st Street, I believe. Actually, 223rd. One of them is a 25-foot lot, but we are going to combine that with the adjacent parcel, which is 44 feet wide. So that would make one parcel, which was going to be part of the Flores project, but we had to take that out because of the conflict of interest in the approval of DDA during the hearing. And I anticipate that being built by Flores eventually. The other is a 50 by 100 foot lot on Ibex Avenue. That property is zoned commercial. However, the general plan that was adopted in '94 changed the classification on that to residential. Then we have one in Elaine on the dead end street there, which is not part of the dead end street project, and that is 25 by 100. And we had attempted to try to merge that with the adjoining property, but that did not result in any type of development there.
Wait, excuse me. You know, it would be my belief that, you know, we want to eliminate these 25-foot lots. You know, I would think that the priority would to offer somebody who lives next to those 25-foot lots additional space at a competitive price, very competitive price, in order to eliminate 25-foot lots. I mean, if somebody has a 50-foot lot, I'm sure they'd like to have a 75-foot lot. So I would think that what we ought to do is to make it a priority for us to offer those 25-foot lots to the owners of a 50-foot lot. And if they decide that they want to develop, then they have to develop on 37.5 feet.
We did that, Leonard. Remember, Joe, the people that we bought, we did that in the past, and it seems like not much interest and very minimum. I mean, you know,
Are you talking
very
about
reasonable.
this one on
On Elaine, and then there was
yeah.
another one on Ibex. There were some people that, you know, we approached to say, you know, well, if the neighbors are there, ask both sides, one side and the other, see who wants it. And for very, you know, competitive, you know, I mean, it costed the city about $200,000 per lot. Well, that's what purchasing, demolition, and everything else, and it's costed us more at the time. So
Oh,
what I'm
sure,
saying,
but, I mean-
yeah, what I'm saying is, yeah, it was done, and it seems like, you know, for a very reasonable price, 13 or something thousand, 13,000. You
And they
can,
still wouldn't,
and you know, that's I'd love to get that just for a yard, you know, but it's people I guess can't afford it. They couldn't.
Couldn't afford it. Well, unless you want to offer them, you know, a minimal amount for the extra, what would that be, 17 and a half feet? On their side?
Well, we've been encouraging people, neighboring properties, to purchase these lots. A lot of times we get requests from outside developers wanting to purchase a lot individually and build a single family dwelling unit, 2-story, and having to come back for a variance, which is such as the case right now. We have a request from somebody wanting to acquire a property in Violetta at the corner of 223rd. And actually, he had bought the property next door, and he has applied for a variance, which is going before the planning commission tomorrow night. So there's 2 25-foot lots where there could have been an opportunity to combine them, but he had bought one of the properties, so he's going to develop that on his own. And now he had made
we're
a
gonna let them
request.
build on a 25-foot lot?
Well, that, we don't want to discuss that now because that'll be before the commission tomorrow, and then it'll come before the council in 2 weeks.
Yeah. What
But-
about, would you be interested in maybe disposing, as you said, or selling, and maybe with, maybe even with the agency carrying the paper?
Whatever works.
Something that would,
Yeah.
I think we've been there
talking
before.
about carrying no paper, oh boy. I don't want to
we do
carry.
that with those
that much.
houses?
How much, what do you want us to carry?
oh no, I mean, it has to be something reasonable. I'm not talking about. the
How
whole
far-
amount.
how far do
I'm
we
just
have to
saying
carry
that, you know,
Hey, with the owner.
So it sounds like that the council,
seller's
the
market.
agency is more amenable to dispose of the properties to the neighboring properties rather than
Right.
having outside
That-
developers come in and making offers and building on these 25-foot lots, selling them, and then leaving town, renting them, and so forth.
That's the ideal. Because that was the intention to begin with, to eliminate these 25 by 106 lots. But it didn't make sense to me at the time. Why don't you buy both, the 25 by 106 and the 50 by 106, and combine those together? That would have made a lot more sense, you know, because
Basically encourage land
Right.
development within the neighboring properties rather than
Right.
having outsiders come in, building a 2-story box on there and then walking away.
What about also maybe giving this attempt a 3-month period of time, you know, with the people being contacted, the property owners, and then in 3 months, this issue be brought back to you all?
Just to,
You know, when you think about it, 25-foot lots, you know, split it in each one of the people, I mean, $13,000, that's not a lot of money.
Our median income in the city is,
it's an extra child they can feed.
Well, there would be additional costs that they would incur
Like
for
five
expanding the
lots
existing
is in the
home and then
wrong
bringing the
place,
existing
right?
up to code, which was the case with Honey Lane, because they had bootleg like, structure and that needed to be permitted, and then they wanted to expand, and then by buying additional property. So there is additional costs other than the $13,000.
Yeah, but you know, Joe, I think we can probably, see, those people still show interest, and I know that you don't want to, kind of like not see, go cover your eyes to something, but, you know, if something can be worked out where both parties can benefit, and, you can say, listen, this is what we like to have done, because that, I thought I saw some pretty nice plans of the house they wanted to build, and I think they may still be interested.
I'm sure they're still interested, but they never pursued and submitted
Right.
plans or made any further inquiries on it. It kind of just seemed died away. But the property's still available, and of course, they would have first preference. In fact, that's what happened when this property came before the agency that was in the Flores DDA, that we took that property out of that DDA to give it to those
Right.
people, but they never pursued that endeavor, combining the two parcels together, because it was a costly project. It was
Yeah.
$50,000 range. By the time you acquired the property, built the property, and so forth.
Well, I guess,
And they were wanting to apply for a loan through CDBG, which is possible, but there's a long waiting list, so they'll have to get at the
well,
list.
I don't know if you can put those as priorities for the loan.
You'd have to change your guidelines, which.
Yeah, probably if we, just as a recommendation, to send letters out to both adjoining parties and see what kind of response you get on any of the properties that we have. The 6 we have, you said, 6 lots?
There's about 6.
So you can have 12 people you're going to send letters to and stating this is available, just then it's, going to negotiate and see what kind of response you get. I think Tony said about 3 months. to see
Okay, but
if
the
you-
direction that I guess we're asking from the agency board is that we're giving priority to the property owner.
Yes.
Rather than the developers from the outside, because
Yeah.
that seems to be where most of the interest is coming from, and you having to put these items on the agenda. And it'll save us a
Well,
lot of time.
it'll,
to
and
reiterate
also,
the policy.
that's Public Works is out there a lot, and it becomes a dumping ground, those.
Sure.
So, to eliminate that and see what kind of response you get. And then, if we get 2 or 3 that respond back and work with those, and then, we work with the other ones.
With the neighboring.
Work with the neighboring properties. I'd like to recommend that. I don't know how everybody feels.
Consensus of the board.
I think that's right.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I love motion.
Yeah, let's make a motion on that.
Motion for direct staff to send letters out to adjoining parties for the
Second.
properties first.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, I have a question. Mr. Kevin, I at least 2 of those properties, and maybe I should withdraw my second. I might have a conflict of interest. 'Cause I own property.
Maybe sell all your properties.
You own property?
Pardon?
You own property next to them?
Yes, at least 2 locations, at least looking so. I just remembered it. So I'll withdraw
Do a
my
moonwalk
second.
home, boys.
Yeah. Sorry, I own property.
Okay, a motion, is there a second withdrawing?
I'll second.
Second. Everybody by,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Except Loopy?
Aye.
I abstain.
There you go.
Okay, oral staff reports for redevelopment? Nope. Council agency reports?
No.
Nope. Okay, I'll adjourn this meeting to March 14th, 5:30. And, the public housing. Roll call vote.
Director Frida,
Here.
Director Cabrera,
Here.
Director Alvarez,
here.
Vice Chair Member Titus,
Yep.
Member Schultz.
Yes,
Yeah,
oral communications, items on the agenda. Items not on the agenda. Discussion items approving, public housing resolution 02-2000 for increase to once and regular payrolls for a total of $57,210.81.
Motion approved.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Director Peter?
Yes.
Director Cabrera?
Yes.
Director Alvarez?
Yes.
Councilmember Titus?
Yes.
Councilmember Schultz?
Yes. Oral staff reports? Board reports? I'll adjourn this meeting to March the 28th.
Once again, March the 1st at 7 a.m.
I'd like to adjourn these meetings in
How much shot card showed we saw this
memory
year?
of former